I don't think that he has the power to give or to take from any employee the right to contact his congressman. That's a right granted by the Constitution of the United States. The right to petition your Congress for a redress of grievances is as integral a part of the American system of government as the Constitution itself, because it's a part of the Constitution. And I said to the Postmaster General that I was sure that it had been an unwise, hastily thought-out thing, that I felt certain that in careful reconsideration he would rescind that order.
Tomorrow evening, a major organizational meeting will be held at the Haltom City Bank. It's here that the Northeast Tarrant County chapter of the American Association of Retired People will meet to form a legislative committee. The purpose of that committee will be to put pressure on legislators to pass legislation to aid in tax exemptions for the elderly. The president of the local chapter here, James Needham, explained to me today the plan that they hope to be passed.
We feel that it would be reasonable to reduce all taxes on that individual in accordance with their income. We'll say, for instance, if their taxes on their home, all combined, amounted to $300 a year when they were making $10,000, then we feel that it would be equitable for all concerned that those taxes should be reduced to $150 a year in accordance with their income.
Haltom City recently passed a homestead tax exemption plan for the elderly, and recently Mansfield became the first city in the state to institute a city tax break for the elderly. For a report on how the plan is working, we go now to Art Sinclair in Mansfield.
Some 2 years ago, the Mansfield City Commission passed an ordinance which gives a considerable tax break to the elderly in the city of Mansfield. Mary Johnston, the city secretary and tax assessor collector, explains the program and tells why that action was taken.
To lighten the tax burden of the older citizens of the city of Mansfield.
How does the plan itself work?
Well, for our people that have resided here 10 years or longer, and male 65, female 62, they can sign an ad valorem tax certificate and their property goes on the tax roll for $1, and there are approximately 100 taxpayers in this category.
And how does this affect the taxpayer? What has been their response so far?
Well, it has been accepted very well by all of our older citizens, and I think they appreciate what the city has done.
Since you give the tax break to the elderly, does this mean that someone else has to pay the bill?
No, it does not. It does not affect the tax that the other people pay.
This unique experiment here in Mansfield may be working quite well. How it will work in other cities, that remains to be seen. But this may be an indication of the future taxation procedures of other Texas cities. Art Sinclair, Channel 8 News on the Move, Mansfield.
to know that you were selected by the students of your university to represent them in all capacities, but you're denied that privilege when the time comes in the sense of something like January 1st. A lot of people might say, well, that would have happened anyway. But when you're black, sometimes you think a little differently just because you are, and that's really important.
We demand a formal and public apology from those people responsible, as well as the administration who allowed this to occur. In addition, we want this apology to be included in the 1971 edition of the Horned Frog on an entire page across from our Queen's picture.
No, I really don't. I think the Securities and Exchange Commission has had a vigorous enforcement program, at least for the past decade, if not longer. I think what we're seeing is a natural result of when you have markets go up quickly and then all of a sudden markets collapse. When stock prices are going up, people are usually happy. They see paper profits in their stocks, and they're not likely to complain. But when brokerage houses start going under and they can't get a hold of their securities, and when the issuers start going bankrupt, when the market goes down, I think that's when the investor starts to complain, when he suddenly realizes that he's been duped possibly, and that's when the evidence comes out. And of course, when the SEC gets the evidence, that's when they file their action.
They are leaving not by choice, but for some nebulous reason. They have to. We feel that some are reluctant to make sincere statements because they may jeopardize their chances of getting scholarships elsewhere. It is apparent to us that these statements made by Coach Pittman regarding the transfer of these athletes because of inadequate social life is not a whole truth. Social life at TCU for black students, as inadequate as it is presently at an all-time high. The Student Activities Committee recently granted funds for Weekly Black Student Union, which is a social gathering for black students, which each and every black student is finding very enjoyable. We're going to have a statement now by one of these athletes, Larry Dibbles, All-Southwestern Conference tackle.
I'd like to comment about the social activities of the school we're at. They are inadequate, as most know, and compared to a white athlete, our activities are close to none, but this is not one of the reasons why I'm leaving here. The reason I'm leaving here is because of the change of the coaching staff and the change of the rules. I believe that it's not a serious reason to have to shave your mustache or beard or anything of this sort to play football, because after you leave a football field, you have all other kinds of activities to participate in, and your social well-being is also concerned with your appearance. My reason for leaving here is because of the new rules, and not because of the social life, because as most know, it's getting better, and I would like to stay and go to school here, but Coach Pittman has his rules, and he's not going to change, and I'm not going to change mine.
There's not much I haven't done, Jerry. By the time I was 16, I'd been in 4 different jails and you name it, charges, and went to college, studied engineering, dropped out, traveled around, rode with bike gangs, the Hells Angels, the Devil's Disciples. Was involved in the world of dope, and later on with the mafia and dealing mafia drugs all over the country, and and lost my mind on drugs. Didn't know who I was. Committed an insane asylum. No hope left but just to take drugs the rest of my life.
Well, you don't really think about, you know, your own self whenever you see a house burning with two people in the house that you know of standing right by the fire. You just, it comes quickly to you just to automatically go up there and help those people and try to bring them out so they'll be to safety, you know, because I didn't think about it, and I'm sure Sandy didn't, about your own lives being at stake. I just went on up there and tried my best to help them.
Would you do it again?
I probably would.
I think we only have one alternative, and that is to basically realign our priorities and go back into the supplemental budget that they do grant us and try and distribute the money as meritoriously as we possibly can.
Yes, Vern, this is Fred Wren, defending U.S. karate champion on my right, and Skipper Mullins, world's champion of a year ago, on my left. Fred, it's nice to have you back in Dallas to defend your title.
Thank you.
You think the competition will be stiff again this year?
Oh, yeah. It'll be very stiff.
Will you be facing maybe Skipper Mullins in the finals?
Probably, more than likely.
Well, Skipper, it's nice to have you back in U.S. competition, too. How long have you been gone?
3 years.
Fighting mostly as a professional,
Yes,
correct?
sir. Just professional. Most of the blacks now that be here be professionals, so I'll enjoy fighting in it.
Well, do you know all there is to know about Fred Wren as a karate champion?
No, we sparred a little earlier today, and both of us changed our style of fighting a little bit, so it's going to be a whole different fight, I think.
Well, fellas, suppose I go over and join Allen Steen, who will give a commentary on what might be a preview of this year's 1971 U.S. Karate Championship. Allen, will you describe the action, please?
Okay, they're trying to get some openings. There's some good kicks that were blocked and a good punch that was blocked. Notice they use their feet as much as they do their hands. Of course, no head contact. Very good action there between the feet and the hands on both of them. And of course, they're making light contact to the body, very light, which is acceptable to the black belts. There's a kick with a punch to the back and a punch to the back of the head. And you try to set him up for a spin kick at the end of the chest. Okay, good reverse punch. You notice they're working inside. They're trying to get inside of that kick. See? Trying to lure that kick out away. Now, there's a good side kick. Good punch to the head. Notice they're not making contact.
Hold it there, Skipper. Gentlemen, thank you for the fine demonstration. Best of luck, Skipper.
Thank you. I need it from this Fred.
Fred, hope you successfully defend your title. From the Allen Steen's Texas Karate Institute, Jerry Haynes for Channel 8 Sports.